Oh, that's why. What's going on, everybody? Dang, look at that. We already got Joel kicking stuff out. What's going on, everybody? How's it going today? Let's see what we got going on. Joel saying hi. Mommy Raymer is up there. He just signed an emergency declaration. Haven't seen that quite yet. It's on OAN. We'll have to check that out. All right. And guess what, guys? We're going to have a special guest tonight just for you. We're going to have a lovely lady we saw on our show yesterday out there in New York City getting attacked by a whole bunch of, I don't know if they're Black Lives Matter, Antifa, or a combination of both. But we're going to do this. Why is it not showing all my viewers? It should be showing, right? Let's see. Let me go to my YouTube. It should be showing. It's not showing me live? Yeah, it's showing me live. Why does it look like that, though? Oh, no, there we go. All right, you guys can hear me, right? You guys can see me? What's up, Patriotic Punk? How's it going, big guy? Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Now I see it. Now I see some numbers coming in. I don't know what the heck's going on today. Maybe it's because I'm wearing my green hat and put on a different hat. Put on my EddieBlockFilms hat. What's up, Alicia? How you doing? Did your brother make it back all right? Let's see. All right, Mountain Granny sees me. So what do you guys think? Everybody having a good day today? Everybody feeling a little bit better? Back. Let's see. Where's Donnie? Donnie, come here, Bubba's. Come here. We know everybody wants to see this guy. Hey, calm down, everybody. Say hi, Donnie. Brownie wants to get on the action because they've been playing. Arrgh. Is he getting huge or what? Say hi. This guy never lets me sleep anymore. All he wants to do is play. That's how big he's getting, though. All right, go back down. All right, there you go. There's your daily dose of Donald J. Trump, the service dog. Hey, you guys, calm down. We're doing a show today. Yeah, everything's crazy right now. Your hat is off to the Polish American. Well, guess what? We're going to have her on in just a few minutes. She gave me her information, so we're going to call her. And Donnie, stop. Little brat. Let's see, let's go copy. Paste. Well, that's weird. Maybe I just click on it this way. Open in Skype. There we go. Now we got her. We got Tara all ready to go. I'll call her in just a second. But, man, crazy day today, right? Everybody calming down now, though? Is everybody calming down? Get ready for the shit to hit the fan? Yeah. Yeah, he's getting cute and big, huh? Trump's not leaving? Yeah. I don't think he's going to leave just quite yet. I hear they're trying to impeach him, though. Let's talk about this. This just popped up on the news. Where is it? We're going to play this video for you, and then we're going to talk about it real quick. Then we're going to go to the lovely Tara from New York City. All right, let's just show this. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Sorry, guys, I'm not feeling so well today, so I'm going to be a little slow, but let's play this bad boy.
Now poised to issue a blunt ultimatum to Vice President Pence tomorrow. Invoke the 25th Amendment to remove President Trump by Wednesday, or they'll make the president the first ever to be impeached twice.
I think every day he's in office, he remains a real and present danger to the country.
Pence, seen late today arriving at the White House, is said to oppose implementing the 25th Amendment. So Democrats today introducing a single article of impeachment, accusing President Trump of, quote, inciting violence against the government of the United States. The charge right now reads in part, President Trump gravely endangered the security of the United States and its institutions of government. He therefore betrayed his trust as president.
We have to stand up to this man who incited a violent riot at our nation's capital. It was a massive humiliation.
All right, what do you mean he incited a riot? Did anybody see him inside a riot? I didn't see him inside a riot. Did you? Let's see. Is this working? It should be on. There we go. I didn't see him inside a riot. Did you guys see him inside the riot? Anyway, let's keep going.
To our nation, it had a lot of people die.
Already more than 210 House Democrats back impeachment, but there's no broad support among Republicans. In the Senate, Democrats would need 17 Republicans to join them to convict and remove the president. But so far, only one frequent Trump critic, Ben Sasse, says he would consider impeachment. Two others say President Trump should step down.
Well, I think the best way for our country, Chuck, is for the president to resign and go
All right, if Pat Toomey's your senator, get that guy out. Vote that rhino out.
away as soon as possible.
Many Republicans warn a partisan impeachment would further divide Americans.
The Democrats are going to try to remove the president from office just 7 days before he's set to leave anyway. I do not see how that unifies the country.
President Trump out of sight again today, but in the wake of last week's riots, the PGA announced its canceled plans to hold the 2022 PGA Championship at President Trump's Bedminster, New Jersey Golf Club.
All right, you guys, you know what that means. You got to stop watching the PGA now, right? Man, pretty soon we won't be able to watch anything. Will you guys calm down?
First Lady Melania Trump breaking her silence, expressing her condolences to the families of those who died and calling for calm. Our nation must heal in a civil manner, she writes. Violence is never acceptable. A potential Senate trial to remove President Trump would likely happen after he's already gone from office. But President-elect Biden tonight insists it would not interrupt his first 100 days.
Can go half day on dealing with the impeachment and half day getting my people nominated and confirmed in the Senate. So that's my hope and expectation.
What a bunch of baloney, folks. What a bunch of baloney. Can you believe all that? They're trying to impeach him now. There's only a little bit left. It's not going to happen. He's got something up his sleeve, and we're gonna see. Alrighty, so let's see. She sent me a message twice. That's weird. All right, so you guys ready to talk to Tara? Let me text her. Let me let her know we're gonna call her, and we're gonna see this awesome person. That's not who I want to text. Where the heck she go? All right, here we go. Let's call her. Let's we're calling her. Awesome person. Hey, what's going on? Oh my gosh, look who we got here. Let me put you on screen. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. So you're not hurt or anything?
I mean, yesterday was definitely.
Oh, you gotta turn on your computer. I can hear me in the background. Awesome person. Hey, what's going on? Oh my gosh, look who we got here. Let me put you on screen. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I still think I hear you in the hear me in the background. Let me see. Oh no, there it's gone. It's gone, I think.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes. Yes.
Oh, fantastic. I just love having technical difficulties, but that wasn't that difficult.
No, not bad at all, right? So, man, you had an interesting day, it looked like, the last couple of days.
Oh my god, every day just seems to get better and better.
So, before I go, I forgot, so this is Tara. Tara, I don't want to say your last name wrong, so can you say it for me?
It's
Szczepanski? Right on, all right. We got it right there, and you're with the Polish-American Brotherhood. That's your website?
Channel on YouTube. Yep.
Awesome, awesome. So, you know, I didn't know. I met you in D.C. 2 weeks ago. You walked up with me and Brandon, and you talked to me for like 1 second, and then took off running. So.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, "Who is that girl with Brandon?" And you guys just took off real quick.
I mean, DC nights are always very, very hectic. So, especially in the evenings when we're with the Proud Boys and everything. Love those guys.
Yeah. So, what happened? Why don't you tell everybody what happened, and then we'll show them the video, or you know, from your point. Or do you want to watch the video first and then tell them?
Let's watch the video first, and then I can talk through a couple of things.
All right.
So.
Let's see. Where do I want? I'll start with this one. This is actually I'll start the other way around because I think it's backwards. Let me put you on. Let's go. We're gonna turn us off. And here we go. Let's show everybody what happened.
Did they egg me, punch me in the head?
Oh, whoops! I started too soon.
Y'all, I'm gonna stay here behind y'all because they just egg me. They just egg me. 6 feet. Social distance. All right, social distance. Did they egg me, punch me in the head?
All right, so that's the short one. But here's how the guys were messing with her before that. I guess it was before.
What's her name? We got you.
I just
You
said
fucking
my name.
wanna be
Whoa, stop it.
fucking wanna be cowboy. Fuck you talking, get that. What the fuck you doing?
She's a Nazi.
She's a fucking Nazi. She's a fucking Nazi, you heard?
She supports Trump.
She supports Trump. Why you protect her? She supports Trump. Why you protect her?
Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Stay the fuck away from me.
I'll knock you out. I'll knock you out. I'll knock you out. I'll knock you out.
All right, that was crazy.
That was actually the second time they came and assaulted me. So there was 2 assaults that actually had happened.
Yeah, I can't find that other one. Did they delete it from Facebook or from YouTube, or what happened to that?
Okay, so it's it's on Twitter. Part of it's on Twitter.
Is it? Okay.
And basically there's so if you go to my Twitter page, you'll be able to see the first part of it. I got the footage from a person who was across the street in the dog park. I got the outside view, and then the very first video I have that's like a 2-hour long video of the entire like marching, Antifa marching.
Yeah.
It's the tail end of that is when the first assault actually happened.
Okay, let me see if I can find it.
So basically what was happening was Antifa was marching and BLM was marching yesterday. They were advertising it as an anti-racist and anti-fascist protest rally, and that they were even advertising that they were going to be collecting canned foods in the park, which I didn't see, but I mean, they were focused on assaulting me, so if there were canned foods around, I'm kind of glad that they didn't have a canned food in their hand to smash my head.
Yeah, we don't need that.
But there were other journalists that were present and there, and then so with my channel, I attend protests and rallies. This is the first of this kind that I had gone, and so I was trying to be a fly on the wall. I was dressed in black bloc.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I was dressed in black bloc, and while I was with the other journalists, they started harassing the other journalists that were there and telling them like not to stream and not to videotape and record. And so one other journalist was saying, I'm here covering it, I'm media. And then they saw me, I was by myself. They saw me and then walked away from him. He had a much larger camera and he was a much larger guy than me. Saw me, then he walked over to me. And I do feel it was because I, appeared to be by myself. I'm easier pickings because I'm a woman. So they came up to me and told me to stop streaming. And then I said, I'm media and I'm not going to stop streaming. I'm doing coverage here. This is a public space. Explain to them that there's no expectation of privacy in a public space. You can be here. I can be here. And that's when they draped a BLM flag around my head.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was enshrouded by a group of people that afterwards when I saw the video and other people had told me who were witnesses to it. It was like 20 or 30 people on one. But so they draped the BLM around my head. They started hitting me with the umbrella to my head and trying to knock my equipment. I had a Sony ZV-1 and I was streaming from my phone. I thought I had 2 GoPros that were attached, and it was kind of. Here's a little funny part. They go, "She's got 2 cameras," and I yelled back, "You better cover you."
Yeah.
And I'm like, when I was watching it back, I'm like, geez, I can't keep my mouth shut now, can I? But yeah, so they were like, she's got 2 cameras. And then they knocked my microphone out of my hand. And then she's like, she's got a microphone. And I'm like, wow, these people are really sharp, aren't they?
I know, right? Like, no, I got a camera and a microphone. What the hell? I mean, come on, man.
But,
they wouldn't like me. I have like 5 cameras on at all times.
Exactly.
Especially my 360.
when I bent over to pick up the equipment that they had knocked out of my hand, that's when somebody smashed an egg onto my head, and they started spitting on me. They started pouring water on me, so I looked like a hot mess coming out of that. And then as I tried to walk away, they continued to follow me. And then I was able to. So then they knocked my phone out of my hand, and I had to jump over the fence. But they actually had me pegged up against the fence that's in Madison Square Park.
Really?
So I jumped over the fence, which that was a little bit difficult, but I did. And then so finally I was like on the other side of them. And so that was the first assault that had happened. And then so another journalist or videographer came over and asked me if they could interview me, that they had witnessed it. And so
he said he was with the New York Times or something, right? Isn't that what he said?
That was another journalist, and I did actually get his badge credentials just in case.
Sure.
But so it was I'm not sure if this individual, he showed me his credentials as well, but that's the last video I just released today, was the behind the scenes of that attack. And so basically while I was interviewing with him, I hear somebody yell, "Watch out!" And then I just see a can coming towards my face, and my first thought was like, and this is what it's going to feel like to be pepper sprayed. Yeah. That was the thought as I screamed. When I watched the video of this, I'm like, oh man, I screamed like a little pussy at that one. So
I hate watching my videos. I really do.
That was a little bit of an embarrassing scream. Sorry. Next time I'll scream a little bit more huskier for y'all. But yeah, so I dodged behind that camera guy, and then so it was chemical string that he was coming at. And so the thing is, Antifa, like, you know, in hindsight, I remember learning about like their tactical approaches, because I've been studying them, been observing them. That their tactical approach, of course, is to go after people who are by themselves, who appear more vulnerable. They often go for like the elderly or families and stuff, but they do a thing that they encircle you, but they'll distract you from the front. And so in hindsight, the guy with the chemical string was coming at me to be the distraction, because at that point a guy with the skateboard came from behind and knocked my hand and my head with the skateboard. And that just made me mad, and so I started going at him.
Wow. So I got to ask you, though.
You just watched.
So you got to be pretty brave to go out there by yourself. You know, did you have anybody else watching your back? I know there's somebody named Anthony there, right?
I did go by myself. My plan was just to be a fly on the wall. I was in Black Block, and I wasn't trying to cause attention, but like when they were harassing the journalists, and I stood my ground and said, I'm not turning off my camera, and because I don't think the other journalists should. And then this environment that we're having where journalists are being harassed and threatened and hurt covering stuff like here in America, it's what you think of a war zone in a third world country, but that's now happening in America, where it's becoming dangerous to be a journalist, and that's beyond unfortunate. And it just shouldn't be happening. And so I guess when I feel like something shouldn't be happening, I become very vocal. And so I just said no, and that landed me in the situation that I was at. So the first time they had come after me because I refused to turn off my camera. The second time is when they had identified who I was, and they started yelling, "That's Tara with the Polish American Brotherhood," and calling me a Nazi. Which I mentally froze at that moment for a little bit, because I was like, Polish American Brotherhood, Nazi. I'm like, all right, I don't have time to give these little soy boys a history lesson. But so
they only invaded Poland, guys. They only invaded Poland.
I know. Exactly, but they had identified who I was, and then I'm frequently with the Proud Boys at the marches, and so they were like calling me a wannabe Proud Boy, and calling me a Nazi because they identified I was a Trump supporter, and to them all Trump supporters are Nazis, and it's completely unrelated, but they have a couple screws loose in their head. And so that's when they came after me the second time, and at that time, when there was, because the crowd grew as soon as they found out that a Trump supporter was present there, and so I was trying to get away from them, and I saw the police, and we're the party of Back the Blue. And so I still had this level of expectation that this is the part that actually was so discerning and heartbreaking for me to have experienced, was not from the crowd. I was like, all right, this is the situation, this is the mentality to have expected from that crowd. But I ran to the police and I asked them for help, and they pointed me away and said, stay 6 feet away from me.
And then they walked away from you.
Yes. And then when I tried to like hide behind them, I said, okay, I'll socially distance. But this crowd of people, they've already assaulted me. They've punched me. They've egged me. Like everything. Like they stole their bikes to get away from me. And I'm like, holy crap.
Not only that, I when you're walking there and that guy had that or girl had the diaper, whatever that thing was. You know, you're right there in between two officers, and that person's in your face, and the cops are just like, you know, just looking around like didn't even care. They started their motorcycles up. Which, so if you're gonna pull me over on a little scooter like that, I'm sorry, that's not very impressive, right? You know?
Yeah, I was doing my best to get in between the officers too. I was like, hold the line, let me jump into this line, because it was like a mob of 20 and 30 people chasing me at that point. So, and I was literally weaving between the motorcycles, and I was like, I'm okay, well, I can't go anywhere, they're going to follow me, and I'm just standing there. And unfortunately, like, actually I made a new friend who was walking by and saw what was going on and was like, basically, what is this, you know, fuckery going on? And he jumped into the crowd and was weighing them off of me. And so, but there were a lot of people that were standing by watching this happen, including all those officers.
Yeah.
And
not doing a darn thing.
So eventually, like, I was able to get by, but I was looking over my shoulder, and then somebody was walking with me at that point. And you know, like, I actually encountered a little old lady right afterwards when I was interviewing with the New York Times guy. I encountered a little old lady afterwards, and she's like, "Did Antifa do that to you, sweetheart?" And I'm like, yes. And then she goes, "They threw a brick in my face." And then so I have to put that out on my channel as well. I interviewed her with her experience, and she showed me the pictures. But Antifa threw a brick in her face and broke her nose. And so when you know, at that point, I'm like, you know, she's an elderly woman. I'm thinking that, like, when I was reviewing the footage and thinking of her story, like, I wasn't so much afraid of the crowd of what was going on. It's more that I'm envisioning this happening to other people, because I can take knocks to my head. I can take this. Part of me wanted to swing back when I was there, but I knew that people will clip things out of context, and it will be turned around on me. So if I can take the punch, I'll take it before I have to, like, dish it back. And then also, like, with the volume of the crowd that was at me, I'm like, all right, there's not going to be much of a self-defense that I am actually going to be able to put up. So I did hold myself back from swinging back at them, and because being conscious that they would have spun it around on me.
So
but
talking about, you want to hear spinning it around? So on Friday, I got 20 calls probably by 20 different news agencies, and I told them all no, because, you know, we have a rule, no interviews. So then all of a sudden I started getting messages, you know, hate messages, because they said I did an interview. So what they did is they took one of my videos, actually a couple of them, and they would ask me a question that, you know, I answered on one of my videos. So it looks like they're interviewing me. So they said they interviewed me when they didn't. And it just made me look all bad, you know. It's so, we can never trust the news anymore. I mean, it's sad. Absolutely. It's really sad. And
taking things out of context, and I don't know. I even, all these different thoughts are definitely running through my head. It was a fight or flight, which I didn't have as much of a flight at first until they had me, like, pegged up against the fence, and then I saw the police, and I felt relief when I saw them. But yeah, it just, my heart sank literally when the police pointed away from me. Like, in New York, like in New York City, I mean, this is commie land. Yeah. It really is commie land with everything that we're experiencing now. And I'm like, well, is the police here for show? I mean, are they decorative now?
I think so. So Davey One says, tell her we admire her, the way you handled yourself in that situation, which I think you handled yourself very well. I probably would have punched somebody, to be honest with you. You know, in fact, I've been in that situation, so but I got punched in the face first, so. But yeah, Antifa, they don't care. They'll punch anybody, disabled, old. We were in Berkeley with there was 3 of us with my friend Taiho and a couple other friends and Amber. I don't know if you know the girl Amber. She's from San Francisco. I don't know how to explain her. If you know who she is, you'll know her. But anyways, so we're there and they're yelling at us like 300-400 of them. And this one chick says, "Meet me on so and so street." Well, later on, we're going down the street to get to our truck, and there's this little girl. And she's like, "What's up?" And she called me the F word, the gay F word, right? And I'm like, "I thought you guys are LGBTQ, And she's like, "Yeah, but I'm a F, this." And she's like, "So I can say it." I'm like, "So then you're giving me a compliment then?" And then I'm like, "So you want to go, right? You said you're going to kick our ass. Here we are." And she's like, "No, never mind." So once they don't have 300 people standing behind them, they back down. And that's what's sad, they find a little lamb. And I could have gone and me and my friends could have gone and just literally slapped her around a little bit, but we didn't because that's not what patriots do,
Yeah, exactly.
And it's sad.
They think they're so tough because they were when the guy was yelling like, "I'll knock you out, I'll knock you out." I'm like, "You're like twice my size." And you feel big and tough by saying, this to a little Asian girl, basically, like, "I'll knock you out." Really? Yeah. I mean, it's so interesting that they pride themselves on and promote themselves as being like the party of tolerance. And in that situation, like, what are you they promote like, oh, women's rights and feminism and all that, but I'm like, what are you doing? You're attacking a POC female. Yeah, it's sad. What do you weigh, like 120 pounds at most, soaking wet? I mean, come on, what are you gonna do? Although I shouldn't say that because I've seen some ladies your size kick some ass. So I did actually. I trained. I left my corporate job in 2017, and I started backpacking the world. So last year, I trained in a boxing camp in the Philippines for 4 months, and then 2 months in a Muay Thai camp in Thailand. So
wow.
I can take a punch and I can deal it back, but I'm actually glad that I didn't react by punching back because I feel like things would have escalated a lot more if I carried myself differently. Though in that situation, you absolutely have the right to defend yourself. But fortunately, things could have gone a lot worse yesterday, of course. So I'm, thank God that I got, I didn't physically suffer compared to a lot of things that I've seen in the last couple of weeks. But I think that by not punching back at a crowd of 30 is also part of the reason why I was able to walk out.
Yeah. So I got a question for you. I've done stuff like this before, and I've gone into places by myself, undercover, and I couldn't stop myself from, had to try and stop myself from shaking. You're so scared going into, you know who Ben Bergquam is, right? Okay. No. Well, anyways, we made a couple of documentaries about El Otro Lado, which is this company who's bringing in illegal aliens from the border. And so Ben had me sneak into one of their meetings. And I've made all kinds of videos about these people, and I'm looking at the straight ahead at the faces of these people who I've put on video and put on blast, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope they don't recognize me, And I sat through an hour-long meeting, and they didn't. And the funny part is Ben was supposed to be there to distract him outside, but he got stuck in Washington, D.C. So I'm there all by myself, just scared little, so I can understand what you're going through. And you kept it calm. It's hard to keep it calm when you're, you had to have been a little worried going in there by yourself.
To be honest, when I first decided to go to the rally and then I was there, not really. I guess if I'm nervous about something, maybe I won't necessarily do it. But I went. I prepared myself by dressing appropriately, and I had found out later though that because the little chud list and everything that so they had been watching my live stream, and so that's how they were able to identify me. Afterwards for the second assault basically was because they had said Tara from the Polish American Brotherhood is somewhere in the crowd, and at that point I guess because they pulled my hat off, so maybe they were able to recognize the top up and everything. So
we oh my goodness, I forgot what I was gonna say now, but they do watch our stuff. I'm on that same list as you are,
We're in good company.
Yeah, I know, right?
We're in good company.
When I first saw the list, I was like, how come I'm not on there? And all of a sudden, 2 days later, I'm on there. I was like, yay, I made it. You know?
And now it's like this rite of passage, and they're like...
It's a badge of honor. You know, because it happened on our first trip to D.C. I'm getting all these messages, Eddie, you're on this Antifa watch list. And I was like, good.
You know what's really funny about that list? They actually put pictures of me from when I was 19 years old on that.
Really?
To that list. I was like, that's a little creepy. I'm actually a teenager in that photo, but and you know, they have like these like odd headshots, and when they look just cracked out and everything.
Yeah.
And then they pulled a picture from when I was Miss Miami, a 19-year-old headshot, and so I'm like, they're nuts. I don't know, like, why are you gonna be like, get her? She saves puppies on the weekends.
I know, right? Yeah. Speaking of stuff like that, so they did that story on me in the news, and I'm just this racist jerk who likes to beat up black guys, you know, because I punched a black guy. But yet, when I go and serve the homeless food on Christmas night, and when I go help the veterans, none of that stuff gets shown about, right? You know, they only pick and choose what they want to say. Thank you, Yvette.
It has to fit their narrative.
Yeah. Let's see. All these comments are just about how beautiful you are, so we're just gonna say that once. You know, let's see. Patriot Punk was talking about, because when we were in DC, did you go to Black Lives Matter Plaza?
Oh, me? I've pulled down signs there a couple of times. So afterwards in their little Antifa Twitter, they're like, it's the girl that pulls down the signs.
Yeah, I went in there with Patriotic Punk, and as soon as we're coming in, you see this guy on a scooter, and he crashed his scooter, and I'm like, oh man, I hope that person's okay, and then I show up and saw their Black Lives Matter, I'm like, oh, good thing they crashed, you know. It was crazy.
I feel like, you know, it's a thing to do. I'm in DC quite often, so, you know, because you have to do your civic duty, guys. You have to do your civic duty and take the trash out. So when you guys go to DC, help keep the streets clean and take the trash out around BLM Plaza, like all those signs, all like, you know, it's just trash littering there. So everybody, do your servicing.
Grab one. There you go. You know, my buddy works in California here. We have Caltrans, and I know a guy that works for Caltrans, and he says we have to take them down anyways. Oh, you're frozen. There we go. You're back. No, my buddy, I know a guy who works for Caltrans. He says they have to take those down anyways once they go up. So it's not like you're really doing anything wrong by taking it down.
You're not actually, because like the thing is, that's considered like legally it's already abandoned property. Like it's a public space, so they do have the right to put it up, but we have the right to take it down. You're not doing anything that's illegal by taking down those signs. And like I said, you're doing a public service by taking out the trash, actually. So I encourage everybody to do their civic duty, you know? Take those signs down.
What made you go from being Miss Miami and Miss New York to becoming the patriotic Polish American Brotherhood?
So actually, I was a Trump hater a couple of months ago. So
Were
I went
you?
from being a Trump, I went from being a Trump hater to thinking he's just racist, misogynist, sexist, and all of that, to now being a Trump lover. And so I was so happy I got red-pilled just in the nick of time, because I voted for Sanders in the Florida primaries. So that's how recent of a move this all has happened for me. And basically what happened was when I started the Polish American Brotherhood, it focused on history. And so I learned more the history of the Polish people, one being Tadeusz Kościuszko. So the Kościuszko statue that's in front of the White House, it was vandalized during the BLM riots. And so that's also part of the reason that I'm so passionate of taking the trash out, because that trash blocks the Tadeusz Kościuszko statue. And so he's a Polish American Revolutionary War hero. And that's when I knew that when it was vandalized, I'm like, this is a sham of the movement, because like he also, like when he died, his estate went to freeing black slaves. He was very vocal about equality for men, and that's why as a foreigner, as an immigrant, he came and fought for American freedom. And so when that statue was vandalized, my father, who's a Soviet refugee, had oh, sorry, Eddie, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, sorry, my Wi-Fi just popped up.
Oh, okay.
So my father is a Soviet refugee. He knows what communism is and the dangers of it. And he saw a picture of America when he was 13. He's like, I want to go there because they have food. So anyways, when he saw the statues being vandalized and toppled, he's like, oh, this is like Leningrad all over again. So he sees that it's happening, and he also said nobody will stand up for Kosciuszko. And I'm like, Dad, I will. So I posted on my social media in my small, my small online space, defending the statue and the legacy of Tadeusz Kosciuszko, and then also condemning the riots, the violence, and the vandalism that had been occurring, and calling it out, saying that it's wrong to be doing that. And in my own way of calling it out, I said that BLM is a domestic terrorist organization, and BLM letters mean KKK, and it becomes the equivalent of a swastika. So I have a very, eloquent way of expressing myself at that time to my entire liberal Facebook social media space.
Oh my gosh, you got a lot of hate that day, I bet.
Yeah, so my friends who know me and know what I was actually saying, they saw that and they came with popcorn like, oh, she's gonna burn for that one. And I posted it on Blackout Tuesday, which I didn't know that was a thing. So it was fantastic timing, but everything happens for a reason, and I'm glad that I did, because that's what was my wake-up moment, because the visceral hatred that I received for that post, and actually I was giving people words of advice in it. It was a well-intentioned post in the sense that if you're going to be using violence and hatred to be promoting a message, that message is going to become associated with it. And yes, if all the actions, by definition, that's a domestic terrorist organization. I mean, that's just common sense.
Yeah.
And so that the backlash and visceral hatred I received from that is what actually red-pilled me, because then I started to pay attention, because I realized there's something really wrong with the way people were so triggered by the words that I had said. Mm-hmm. And after basically 2 months of independent research, I started paying attention to the media, recognizing all the lies that were there. I started watching the full press conferences and learning what Trump has actually done for the country. And I'm like, whoa, he's not racist.
Yeah.
I'm like, I listened to the full speech of both sides, and then the Muslim man and how the left dubbed it and made it up. And so really, with a little bit of research and paying attention, you can realize what's going on. And so that's what red-pilled me.
Yeah. Uh-oh, you're frozen again.
I started wearing my MAGA hat.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
No, oh, sorry, you were frozen for a second. So we had to get it back.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, they could. I was gonna show everybody Airtable to where we're on the Chud alert, and they took it down for some reason. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
I had heard that they were working on taking that Chud list down.
Yeah, they did. I was gonna show it, but now we can't show it. Darn it. Oh well. So a lot of guys are saying they want to be your security guards. If you need a security guard.
Thank you guys. I definitely need security guards after yesterday's event. For sure. I'm not looking to put myself in danger. I like to just bring the coverage, just the raw feed of what's going on.
Yeah.
So because it's important for people to see it, because they're not going to see this on mainstream media. So anybody has the ability to become a citizen journalist, which you do now with iPhones, record and post it up, because that's what's so scary about the censorship now that we're experiencing, is because they really are looking to control that narrative, with Parler being taken down. Hopefully that will be up soon. To for Twitter, for the owner of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, to think he's more powerful than the president of the United States by blocking his Twitter. I mean, this is so just common sense that doesn't exist. I guess it's a rare value to find in today's society.
Yeah, and I mean, it's people like you and I who go out there and show, what's really going on that it takes. And, right now we may only have a couple thousand followers, but just watch, pretty soon we're going to blow up. People are starting to not watch the news anymore,
Mm-hmm.
And, you're very articulate, how you speak, and well-spoken. And I mean, I got to say, you're a very gorgeous woman. Everybody in here is going nuts over you right now. So, I remember watching it yesterday. I'm like, come on, take off your mask. I see your beautiful eyes. I want to see your beautiful face, Not to be mean, or I don't know if you take that personally, but
no, not at all.
Right on, good.
I don't know, like a snowflake. So.
Yeah, those snowflakes. When we were in Portland, at the rally, the only fight that happened that people could find was a couple Proud Boys fighting with each other, and the reason was this girl got pushed out of the way of the bathroom. We had a rule: the ladies got to go to the bathroom first, because there's only 2 bathrooms. And so I tried to explain that, and somebody's like, "Well, did she ask for their help?" And I'm like, really? You're gonna let some guy beat up a woman if she doesn't ask for help? That's how these snowflakes think, you know? It's crazy.
That's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's see. Does anybody have any questions for Tara? I keep saying Tara because I have a friend named Tara, so I gotta catch myself saying it right. Let's see. Everybody says I'm a hound dog. Well, you guys know I like to talk to all the beautiful women. You guys have seen my videos. Come on. You know. Let's see. You know, nobody's asking any questions. We'll wait for a question to come through. So I'm but I'm part Polish. Very little tiny part.
Right.
I'm half
See,
Dutch.
the Brotherhood.
Yeah, I'm half Dutch because my mom's from Holland, and then my dad was Polish, Jewish, and German, and American, of course. So I don't know. There's very, very little bit of Polish in there somewhere. So I used to hear all the Polak jokes.
My mother's from the Philippines, so I mixed Polish and Filipino.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's where it comes from. I see.
Polopino.
Polopino?
I actually have a shirt. I have a shirt that says Polopinos for Trump.
Right on. You gotta figure out a way to put, because I knew this guy always called himself a Filipino. I'm a Filipino.
You got the accent done perfectly.
Do I? Well, I used to hang out with them a lot, you know. So I love adobo. Oh my gosh, if you could make adobo, you can marry me right now.
I'm actually not the best cook. My brothers are excellent cooks. My brother made lamb, and then I tried to make a grilled cheese sandwich, and I burned my grilled cheese sandwich. I'm like, wow.
Well, that's why you're Miss Miami, so you don't have to do stuff like that, right? And now you're gonna become a famous journalist all over the world. Let's see if anybody has any questions for you, other than being your security guard. Let's see. Oh man, this goes along with all those other questions, so I don't know if I want to ask these quite yet. They love a chicken adobo, though. Now they're saying, are you single? I don't think we can ask her that. That's not what this show's about. And she can't tell you.
Turn this into a dating show.
No, I'm not. I'm just looking at the questions people are asking you right here. Oh, now they're telling Polish jokes. Oh, wait, no, this one might be a good one. How many Polacks does it take to expose a terrorist? They're going to say 2, Eddie and Tara. Tara.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Thank you for sharing your time with us. So, Proud American's been cooking while listening to your show. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to tell us about? Do you have any plans for the future? Oh, you're frozen again. All right, there you go. So, you're back again. Do you have any plans for the future? What are you looking forward to do in the next couple weeks, months, years?
Well, I'm going to continue on with journalism. I started my channel officially. I started it in January, but it wasn't really a focus for me. It became a focus really in October on my first trip to go out to DC. And that's when I became involved with the rallies. And the first time I went to a Trump rally was in Jacksonville at the end of September. And I found that rallies were excellent places to be learning and also connecting with people, meeting people, like-minded individuals, and helping to form ideas. And so I had started attending more and also broadcasting them through my channel. So I intend to keep going to rallies and to protests. I think protesting, it's very important to keep the government in check. So So I will be going to protests that I might not necessarily agree with the message that's being sent there. I attended yesterday's rally, and I am definitely not in line with anything that they were saying there. But to see what the different voices are in America, they might be trying to suppress my voice, our voice, but it's not something that I would ever do to another individual, no matter what. Yeah. And so I plan on continuing to be covering this in terms of current events and politics, especially with what's going on now with media censorship. That's going to be my next big passion, is to be fighting against media censorship and attending rallies and protests against big tech.
Yeah.
And it was even just yesterday, my one of my streams was 13 minutes long, and they censored it and cut it down to 6 minutes. And the part that they actually censored out was the part that the mob was chasing after me. So for those of you guys who were able to tune in and watch it live, the one that had ended up posting was it cut off the part that I'm being chased by the mob and running towards the police and asking the police for help. So the part that you were able to show earlier, somebody was able to recover a piece of that,
Wow.
and it was from a corrupt file. But that small piece of me running up to the police and the police pointing me away, saying 6 feet distance, somebody had recovered that for me and sent it to me. And so I mean, I don't mean somebody's. Adam Francisco is one of my really, really good friends. He's got a channel, so plug him in right here. So check him out as well. So
is that Adam from Freedom Flashpoint?
Adam Francisco.
Yeah, is that from Freedom Flashpoint? Is that Adam?
Oh, sorry, another Adam.
Oh, another Adam. Okay.
I spoke to Adam from Freedom Flashpoint earlier today, so we were connecting. He's going to be also. I'm going to be interviewing with him.
Right on.
And then I actually, right before we did our interview, I was just on Newsmax.
Nice.
And so it's I'm trying to, get the word out there of what had happened, because, there's going to be such a double standard as to how the police are going to be handling such situations, because, like, had the roles been reversed and say I was, a BLM person, would they have been then, protecting me?
Yeah.
But
see,
yeah,
I
couldn't believe that they censored out that piece of me running away from the mob and me helping, asking for help from the police. Like that, you got to think of, like, why did they censor out that specific piece? So you got to look for the part that is being untold.
Yeah.
Because what's being untold is probably what's the truth.
Oh yeah. What I do now, I have my iPhone, here, and then right on top I have my GoPro facing forward. So that way I can always, so if they cut it out on YouTube or on Facebook, whatever I'm at, then I still have the actual, just, a digital file of it. Because, if you go too long, your iPhone won't record it all. And Kurt, though, says he works for a police company and they're scared about what this country is coming to. What are your concerns about the suppression of speech? So we're just on that, but you can maybe go a little more into it if you like.
Absolutely. So when it comes to the suppression of speech, I do have a concern, like I don't see succession coming from, for conservative voices to be leaving the Twitter or to be leaving Facebook as a good thing, because it's going to create these places to be echo chambers for the individuals there. So the liberal voices are only going to hear each other, and conservative voices will only hear each other. I want to encourage effective and civil discourse between different opinions, because, like, unlike Joe Biden, who's preaching a message of false.
Oh, we gotta wait 1 second, guys. Her internet's cutting out again.
My brother and my mother are very anti-Trump, and then me and my father are as Trumpster as people can get. And so that's the concern I have with platforms and people separating apart, because we need to be able to speak together. But the thing is, the censorship's only happening on one side. So of course it's causing us and forcing us to go find our own platforms, and that is something we need to develop. But we should, as we develop those platforms, we should also try to be encouraging others to be coming onto them and learning from each other. So it's what I always say is when we're combining our voices or opinions, because we all have a different vantage point. We're all standing maybe in the same room and looking at the same thing, but we're standing in different corners. So when we piece those pieces together, you bring the depth, I bring the width, and somebody else will bring the height. And when you construct that together, look what you've built.
Oh yeah, I'm actually looking to start, my own, like a personal YouTube channel, like a YouTube itself. So that way if we can get all the conservatives like yourself, Will Johnson, Ben Berklom, just Jeremy, all these guys that just go around and do this, so that way we're not going to censor ourselves at all, and that's what we need. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we can get that going pretty soon.
That, and then also without like having to censor ourselves, like we've moved to such a PC culture that we're focused so much on the words that are being used as opposed to the content and the message that's coming through, and focusing on like, oh, I don't like the way you said something, but we need to be focused on what was the intent of the message and what is the message itself, and not so much how it was said. And so it's so much of a distraction, and I feel that's what's been happening for people to be so conditioned and to become snowflakes and very easily triggered liberals, because it's like stepping on a bomb when it comes to words, and it blocks that conversation because it elicits such an emotional reaction of anger that it blocks the message from ever coming through.
Yeah, it does. So speaking of that, did you get kicked off of Facebook too for being in DC?
I have been on a Facebook ban since November 14th, since the first DC Stop the Steal rally. So I got banned for streaming images of the Proud Boys, and so that was my first ban for 60 days. And then I was about to complete my sentence of the Facebook gulags this time, but then I got banned for reposting images and video of the inside of the Capitol. From this past trip in DC. So since I had reposted video feeds of what was going in on it in the inside, I got another 90-day ban. So I've been banned from, and I used to live stream a lot on Facebook because that's where most of my followers or connects were. And so, yeah, it's a total of like, now it's going to be 5 months of not live streaming. So I've gotten used to not using Facebook very much. And, that's unfortunate. I understand like to have community standards, but they're playing the government, and that's why you don't want to put the decision of freedom of speech ever into the government, because when they elicit what is defined as like hate speech or because like Germany, I have German friends who like to say that they have freedom of speech, but freedom of speech includes all speech, whether it's hate or not, because you're putting the power of within, to a governing body to then decide what is construed as that. Because the images that I was showing from the Stop the Steal rallies and everything, there was nothing, in my opinion, that is there. And then I know other people have been, they've gotten hits for showing images of people not socially distancing. I'm like, that's everybody in the world. And the whole like the censorship with hydroxychloroquine. My cousin had got COVID early on in like February in the Philippines, and so I already knew that they were treating people with hydroxychloroquine. And so when I saw how it was being censored in social media during the summer, I knew it was already a sham and ridiculous. Yeah,
it's crazy. Anything else you want to say for these guys while you're here?
I mean, if you guys have any questions for me, I mean, I just appreciate the opportunity to be on your platform, Eddie.
Oh, no, I'm honored to have you on here. I mean, I'm just, we're both just, coming up, and so, I can appreciate other streamers, some of us, not so much, like, there's some girls out there just trying to get likes because, they want to get likes, but somebody like you going out there and trying to show the real news, I appreciate stuff like that.
Yeah, I just want to be a truth finder, just like you.
Yeah, like I've been to Bernie rallies. I went to one and I stood in line for 4 hours. I even bought a Bernie pin so I could get in there. And then next thing you know, they walk up and they're like, Eddie, you're not allowed to come in here. And I'm like, you wait 5 hours before you tell me this? And oh, you're frozen again. Oh, there you are. You're back. But they made me wait 5 hours and then they kicked me out. So I was out in front, and instead of harassing people like other streamers do, I was just like, what are you doing here, Because I think we need to learn about these other people and why they're voting for him, And then we can start talking to them, Well, you like this, but that's not really what's happening, Like there's people there, oh, well, he's going to give health care to everybody. And I said, well, they're saying it's going to cost this many $1 trillion. Do you know there's not enough millionaires in this world to pay that couple of $1 trillion? And they're like, so you mean that means we have to pay for it? I'm like, yeah. And so this girl looked it up. She actually emailed me later on because I gave her, my email address. And she's like, wow, you were right. I can't believe that there's not. She's all, I thought there was enough millionaires in this world to be able to pay for all that. And she's like, there's not. And the other thing people would understand is, well, let's make Amazon pay for it. Well, you know what Amazon's going to do? Your $99 a year month membership is now going to go to $200 a year. They're not going to pay for it. We're going to pay for it. So people just don't understand.
That's part of the importance. That's great that you went to a Bernie Sanders rally, because we have to understand the information that's being fed to the other side, to people who have the different viewpoints. Because the thing is, we're forming our opinions and impressions based on the information we receive and that we have. And so when everybody has different information and they're forming their opinions based on that information, that makes it very difficult to have an effective discourse. So to understand where other people are coming from and what information that they're using, because maybe they have wrong information, and maybe we have wrong information. Who knows? But only in having those discussions will we figure that out.
Yeah, and if you only watch one side, you're not getting all the news. You have to take both sides and then figure out the middle ground, and that's what I try and do. So they're asking.
That's common sense.
Yeah, they're asking, did you file a report? So I'm guessing they're saying, did you file a report against the police for not helping you, and also for the people that attacked you?
I'm planning on filing a report with the police. I have not done that today. I've been doing a lot of interviews today, so tomorrow is my plan to be going down to the police department. A friend of mine had looked up, which actually Adam from Freedom Way, he was advising which precinct I needed to go and make the report in, because it happened over in Madison Square Park. And then I want to provide them also with all the footage that I had, because they're, because if they're going for the people who were inside of the Capitol, like, let's apply the same standards, and like, let's see if they're even willing to do anything in the case, because like it's well documented, the assault that happened to me. There's plenty of footage of it. And to see if they're even willing to address it. I have no idea. I mean, this is the first time I've gone through something like this, but I do plan on going to make a report, and I'm going to be providing updates about my experience and putting that information also on my channel and talking about that, because that will hopefully help to keep the police in check. I have no idea if that will actually come about, but at the same time, that's something that's important to keep checks and balances out there. And unless I speak, nothing will be done.
Yeah, definitely. Are you planning on going on the 20th to the Capitol?
I am planning on going to the Capitol, or I haven't decided my schedule yet. I might go to Portland. I might go to Seattle. I might go to a couple of the hot zones. So those are all up in the air. I haven't made a decision, but I will be somewhere. I might keep it a surprise as to where I am. After the past couple of weeks, and especially after yesterday, I want to be smart about things. So in terms of like posting my location, because actually I did go to Portland before I came to DC, and I didn't post that I was going to Portland until after I had left. And so try to exercise the appropriate safety precautions that's there. But there's some fun travel plans in the mix. I like to be on the road, and I like to be bringing you guys whatever coverage I can and keep that going.
Well, I got a big event that I'm going to be going to pretty soon. It's this month. I won't say it out here, but I'll text you about it. Maybe you can come to our event. It's going to be a huge event.
Fantastic.
So you can come to Commie, California.
I was born in Commie, California, so absolutely.
Right on.
I was talking to Elle. She gave me the information for it, so I told her I was going to try and come.
Okay, all right on, cool. Is it on? Is it I will say, is it in the Bay Area?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, we're all going to be there, so. Cool. That would be awesome. If you come, you got to come find me.
Absolutely.
I know. We'll go eat beforehand, because I know the best places in San Francisco, and they won't know us till after. So we'll eat before the rally, so they don't mess up our food afterwards.
Yeah. Thinking smart.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. So Portland, what happened when you went to Portland, then?
I feel like it was, of all the days that rioting was going on, I was there on the day that I wasn't. So I was it was my first time going to Portland, so it was quiet. I went right after the New Year's Eve riots, so I was there on January 2nd. And so the city had been rioting on the 31st and on the 1st. And it's been rioting still these past couple of days. So it was a very quiet weekend when I had gone, but so I just gave myself a twisted little tour around the area. On my YouTube channel, you can see the little photo shoots that I did of all the wonderful trash graffiti that's around. I heard before Antifa had started there in 2016, 2017, I heard it was a very lovely city. I was looking up the touristic stuff, and it looked like there was touristic stuff to do prior to COVID. Now everything's kind of shut down. I heard that it was a foodie city, but
oh my gosh, what's a donut shop called? There's a donut shop, Voodoo Donuts. Did you go to Voodoo Donuts?
I heard about that. I did not go to Voodoo Donuts. So I basically was touring the areas that Antifa had their riots in the downtown area, and then documenting that, because you could see it looked like hell. So I'm like, this is what the gateway to hell looks like. So I was more interested in seeing what our democratic cities kind of turning into, because it was definitely very graffitied. You see ACAB everywhere. You see Trump everywhere. You see like all of that, and BLM scribbled everywhere. So it is a scary sight when you see like gang symbols in an area, like, and I see domestic terrorist organizations scribbled everywhere. I'm like, wow, this is definitely, you know, I'm definitely not at home anymore.
I'd rather drive down Slauson Avenue in Compton, you know, than go through Portland downtown right now. That's how bad it is, you know.
Yeah, and so I was for me it was a view of what a future Biden America is going to look like for the rest of our cities. Unfortunately, that was what was going through my head when I was seeing Portland.
Yeah, when we were there, you know, I went there for the rally, you know, to protest, you know, for Jay. And we went downtown at like 12 o'clock at night because all the Proud Boys were in town. For some reason, there's nobody downtown that night. You know, I wonder why. All these soy boys were afraid they're going to get their ass kicked when some real men came to town, and women.
Exactly.
And we had some strong women there too, man. Yeah, right on. Geez, I don't know what else to ask you right now. I'm not that good at interviewing people. Nobody's asking questions. Let's see. So you moved from California to Miami, or I mean to Florida, and are you in New York now, or are you just still traveling?
I'm still in New York. I'm going to be here for a couple of days till I figure out what my next move is going to be. So I was born in California, and then I lived in Colorado for a couple of years, and then Orlando, Florida is my hometown. And then I lived in Miami for school. I went to grad school at the University of Miami, all about the U.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came up
Fresno
to New York
State.
And then I came up to New York afterwards, and I went for a second master's at NYU. And from there, I worked as a corporate consultant, management consultant for about 7 years. So this is my like little bio story. I quit my job in 2017, and I took off to backpack and travel the world. And so I had been doing that really for the last like 2 years prior to COVID hitting. In my lifetime, I've traveled to 57 countries.
Wow.
A lot of them I've traveled solo. And so that's why when you were asking me, like, if I felt any, hesitation or nervousness about attending the rally, no, I didn't. I've actually backpacked through terrorist zones in southern Philippines. Mindanao actually is my mother's home island, and I had no idea it was on a terrorist watch list, or it's a no-go zone for Americans, because I've just known to be going to it, and it's just where my family is from. Yeah. And so I was backpacking through where Abu Sayyid, that terrorist group operates in the northern part of Mindanao, and because I wanted to go see the waterfalls in Elegant City, because it's known as to have its beautiful waterfalls.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and I've traveled, by myself through Israel and Morocco and several through the Middle East. I went to Turkey by myself, and these are countries that they discourage women from traveling by themselves. I mean, you got to be smart when you're going through these areas, but I wouldn't discourage women from going if they want to go. Just be smart about it.
Sure.
And so that's what I was really up to for the last 2 years. And I think that COVID is the only thing that grounded me and made me sit still. And then with that, I started paying attention to what was going on in America. Because like when you're so busy, like all you read is like the headlines on social media. Yeah. And yeah, that's why, people are forming the views that they are, and just they have no knowledge of anything that Trump has actually done. All they know is that they hate him, but they can't even explain the reasons why. And when you ask them, like, why do you hate Trump? They always have the same answers. It's always he's racist, he's misogynist, he's sexist. Like, but they can't even answer the why beyond those reasons.
Yeah, exactly. And when I think about it too, even if he is these things, which is not good, right? He's doing such a good thing for our country. So think about it this way: if you've got your money at a bank, and you're choosing which bank to go to save, to make the most money out of, do you want the person that's a goody two-shoe that you're going to make $2 an hour, or do you want it to where the person may be a dick, but you're making $1 million? I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with the guy making $1 million, whether I think he's a dick or not. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So, like, whether you like Trump as a person or a personality, like the things that he's done for the economy, for keeping people employed, for increasing employment rates, for the standard of quality of life that had gone up. I started a small business during his administration that was flourishing as the rest of everybody else's lives were. And, I didn't even think of it that way when my business was flourishing, which it got squished by COVID and everything. But, like you took take those things for granted and not understanding really where they were coming from. And a lot of it comes from the work that Trump has done as president.
Yeah, he's at the lowest unemployment ever. Across the board for all different races. And our economy's great. It's just it's sad what they're doing to him. So people ask me to recap who you are. So Tara is the Polish American Brotherhood is her channel. And yesterday she was out in New York City where Antifa and Black Lives Matter had fun attacking her when she didn't provoke them. All she was doing was filming them. You were egged, silly stringed, or chemical stringed, and the police basically would not help her. And
they also spat on me, which is people are that's a crime actually in COVID.
Yeah.
In the COVID age, like they were spitting on me, so like that can be charged as attempted murder actually.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I don't know if you've seen the video where the guy hit me with the chain. This Antifa guy, he swung a chain on me. So what happened is I rolled up. He was swinging the chain on a lady. And I'm doing a live stream, and if you watch my live stream, I just stopped talking, in the middle of and I'm like, oh shit, he's about to hit this lady. So I go over there and take his attention off of her. I start cussing him out, so he's focused on me. And so he's like, you touch me again, and I'm gonna swing it at you. So I just did a little, the Pillsbury Doughboy poke, and he hit me with the chain. So it started out as a felony. And now they said, well, he's got such a good record and he's a good kid, so they reduced it to a misdemeanor and no jail time. He's just gonna do a little street sweeping. It's sad. Now, had I done that to him, I bet you I would have been booked fully. That's crazy.
Like what they're trying to do with the people that marched onto the Capitol. How many BLM and Antifa riots have been that have led to property damage? We've got $2-3 billion worth of property damage, over 150 federal buildings that have been vandalized, destroyed, and destruction through their riots. And has any effort been even put into bringing these people to justice? But you have people who had stormed in or walked into the federal building for the Capitol and hung out in Pelosi's office and used her phone.
Yeah.
To try to call Trump, which that's one thing I can definitely appreciate about conservative humor. You gotta admit, it was funny. It was funny. Those parts are funny.
Everybody likes Donnie.
Oh my god, I love dog.
Yeah.
Hey, baby. That's a baby bear right there.
Do you know what his name is?
What's his name?
Donald J. Trump.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. That's my little buddy. Sorry, every time he comes by, people are like, put him on. So I had the chance. So now Trump is going to speak in San Antonio tomorrow. Do you have an inkling or what do you think he might say at his speech tomorrow?
I'm looking for messages of hope. I don't know what's like. Have we exhausted all of the legal courses that we can have? I mean, even with the shock I felt with them taking away Parler and where the country's going in terms of silencing our voices, it's scary, alarming, infuriating, all of these different emotions. So I have no idea what he's going to say. I hope he gives us a hope for a legal channel of still pursuing ways to the White House. Otherwise, it's 1776. What can I say?
Yeah, I'm worried too, but I think he's got a plan, He's a very intelligent man, He didn't get where he is by not having plans and doing things right. So there's something going on. We'll find out tomorrow, something big, I think. So, in your travels, what was your favorite place that you traveled to?
Oh, that's a tough one. So I'll name my top favorite. So I find myself always going back to Yogyakarta in Indonesia. So I had gone to Bali before many times, but I had made friends with a family in Yogyakarta. So they're my Indonesian family. So I take buses. I try to, I'm traveling on a budget. So I take buses quite frequently. So with that, I have the opportunity of also meeting a lot of locals. And that's also part of the experience I'm looking to have is by experiencing making friends there. So I actually do have a little strategy of when I take buses, I also get treats or anything. So I look to share with people. And then so with the vendors that have like chips or anything, and I'm very open to be sharing food because I feel that food's always a good unifier for people and bringing people together.
I love food.
So I had befriended a woman there. The next day she sent me her daughter and two of their friends, and they just took me out around the city. And then so I found myself going back every single year to Yogyakarta, and I even brought my family. My parents have met my Indonesian family.
Nice.
And then another place that I thought was just the most amazing was going to the island of Sulawesi, which is the northern part of Indonesia. I went to the Sacred Trojan Highlands there. And so from there, I landed in the south of Sulawesi, and I took a 15-hour bus ride to get to the Central Sacred Highlands. And the reason they call it a Central Sacred Highlands is they have the most unique burial rituals in the world. They have the most expensive funeral ceremonies, most elaborate funeral ceremonies. So the people they save their money for their whole lives to be preparing for death. And basically, I went funeral hunting when I was there, and so to be fetching invitations to come to the funerals. And so the funerals are bigger than the weddings that they have. And so they have a form of a caste system. So depending on your caste system is how many buffaloes that you need to have for your death. So their view is that when a person passes away, from our view of that the person has died, they see them as just being sick. And it's until the death of the buffalo that will carry their soul into the afterlife is that truly marks their death. So the funeral I had been invited to, the woman had actually passed away more than 20 years ago.
Oh wow.
And so the buffaloes are sacrificed, but every part is consumed by the entire community in the village, and that's why they're very open to be inviting people to their families' funerals. And so I went to attend in August this festival that's called Mainani, and it's the cleaning of the corpses. So they exhume the bodies of their past loved ones, and they clean the corpses and change their shrouds and put them back into the tombs. So
wow.
It's something actually I had seen. I don't know where. I think I saw it in Dark Tourist, a documentary. And whenever I see something I've always been game to go. So I did make the hike out to Sulawesi, which I don't think I've ever met anybody else who's gone to this part of this particular island or traveled to Troja. So that's one of the most unique places I've ever gone, and you could feel like the sacredness of the land and the spirituality of the people.
So how many languages can you speak then, since you do all this traveling, or at least somewhat speak?
I somewhat speak. I mean, I try to always learn hello and thank you in every place that I go, because I think at the very least you should be able to give a greeting and express thanks. So quite a bit of hellos and thank yous. And a fun one is I spent I've been to Myanmar twice. I've spent a month on each trip, and so Myanmar is former Burma.
Burma, yeah.
And I had known Myanmar as Burma until when I was competing at an international pageant I was Miss USA at the Miss Tourism International pageant, and I met Miss Myanmar, and I was like, Myanmar, where's Myanmar? She's like, oh, it used to be Burma. And so then I went to travel to Myanmar, and so their greeting is Mingalaba. And that literally, their greeting for Mingalaba to mean hello, literally translates to, have you eaten rice today? Really? And so that just shows like how important rice is into the culture, that it's your greeting to say hello, Mingalaba.
Nice. Cool.
But I speak, my mother's from the southern part of the Philippines, so the dialect is Visayan. Okay. So I speak a little bit of Visayan, I speak a little bit of Cebuano. My family had immigrated from the island of Cebu to Mindanao. So in the Philippines, they say the most beautiful women are from the island of Cebu. So actually, I trace from my grandparents to Cebu. And I'm actually a Polish citizen, so I have my dual citizenship. So I do speak a little bit of, I do speak conversational Polish. But in terms of a second language or a foreign language, the most I speak is French, because I studied that in school. Je parle français un peu, très peu. J'étudie français pour 5 ans dans secondary école. You know, oui, oui, croissant. In French.
That's all I can say in French is croissant. I speak Spanish as my second language, so I don't even know Dutch. My mom's from Dutch, But in Holland, actually, you know how Spanish is like you have to learn a second language here. In Holland, you actually have to learn English and to be able to speak it perfectly, starting from elementary school. So all of my family over there can speak perfect English. So I've never learned Dutch, which kind of sucks. I want to learn it.
I know a Dutch word, but that just made me realize other than hello and thank you in the different languages, I also know curse terms in all the different languages.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know a lot of curse words in Tagalog. You know, I used to hang out with a lot of Filipinos in San Francisco. So yeah, interesting. Let's see what else is everybody saying. I don't know what else to ask you anymore. You've been such a wonderful guest on our show today. I appreciate what you do, and thank you for going out and doing it. We need all different likes of people. You know, everybody has their stick. Like people watch me, I think, because I'm on a scooter. You know, more people are gonna watch you because of your attitude and how outgoing you are, and of course, we can't take away your beauty. You know, I hate to say it, but that's gonna help you get a long way too. Not in a bad way. I hope that I don't want you to take it in a bad way.
No.
But I mean, if we can get if we can get
no bad way to take that compliment.
Oh, some people do. But I mean, the way I mean it though is people will watch you that probably normally wouldn't have just because of your beauty, and then they start listening to you and like, oh my gosh, this is true. Maybe you can change the minds of people, you know. So
hopefully, I'm just trying to express myself, my opinions. I'm not shy about my opinions. I'm very unapologetic about them and who I am. And so, you know, if you don't like it, there's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out.
Yeah. And so let's see. So going to another country, the best thing to do is just bring some snacks or food to spread around, and then make friends. And like, so you're very outgoing in order to be able to do that. Most people sitting at the back of the bus, like, what do I do? You know, that's awesome.
Number one tip for if you're ever traveling to a foreign country is make friends with make local friends, and so that's always part of the experience that I gain for whenever I go. And that's also like when I travel, I don't like to stay really. I mean, I do. Who doesn't like a fine, high end hotel? I stay often in hostels because that way I'm able to meet other travelers. Mm-hmm. I like to stay in homestays, a homestay is when you're staying with a local person. And my opinion, that's going to be the best experience that you're going to have is just stay in a homestay. It's not only like a good budget, mm-hmm. But you're also supporting, a family that's there, but it also, creates almost like an instant friend. And so when I use like Airbnb and hosts, mm-hmm. I look for in my reviews and assessing like who I want to stay with is the how social the host is. And because of that, I have friends all over the world.
Nice. What would you warn people against? Like what have you learned that you're not supposed to do when you're going to other countries?
It's important to try and blend in as much as possible. I've traveled to a lot of Muslim countries, and I do wear a hijab quite often when I'm traveling through a Muslim country. I don't try to dress in a way that would bring attention to me. I try to, I guess, yeah, that's the main thing is I try to learn how conservative the culture is there, so like I can dress appropriately. Thing with being mixed Asian and traveling through Asia, often people when they see me, they will not think that I am a tourist, and they might think I'm a local person, mm-hmm. and a local girl, and in which case that can also bring the incorrect attention to me if I don't try to blend in, because unless I speak, which I mean I'm a chatterbox, but unless I speak and if I'm dressed like an American, like an American can get away, or an Aussie can get away, a European can get away with dressing differently. But if I do, it's going to bring undue attention to me. So I try my best to blend in as much as possible. And that's just a safety thing, because you can be there to enjoy without bringing undue attention to yourself. So that's the main thing. And it's nice to travel in groups, and I do encourage that, but I do encourage solo travel 100%. You're able to explore more about, you learn more about yourself in solo travel, and then also you can go according to your own schedule, so you're able to make plans. And sometimes I go to a place and I'm like, oh, I'm going to stay here for 2-3 days, and I ended up staying for like 2 weeks based on how I like a place. And traveling solo is also a lot what has helped to bring my confidence level up. And so I got to know myself more, and then with knowing yourself more, that brings about confidence. So I encourage any individuals. I know we're living in a time that traveling is, very difficult. I do have upcoming plans. I'm going to probably be going to Dubai next month for a little bit.
Wow.
And then I'm hoping to pair off going to UAE, also with going to Jordan. So I do want to travel more around the Middle East. If you can travel, I just try and encourage as much travel as anybody can do. When I quit my corporate job and decided to travel, there's not a convenient time in life to be having these type of adventures, but I just pulled the plug. I quit my job and took what I got, and I went and did it.
Wow, I congratulate on it. I'd love to do that. And I understand what you mean by going by yourself. When I was married and my wife and I would go places, and I'm a talker like you, and she wasn't. And, I was an Elks member. Well, I still am an Elks member, which is a club. It's a fraternal organization. And we'd have to go to conventions, and she'd hate it because I'd be stuck at the airport, and everybody want to talk to me. And, it's Eddie, just because I'm the guy in the wheelchair. Everybody knows the guy in the wheelchair, right? And so she hated it, and I'd have all these plans. Okay, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go there, and then she'd get mad, or like whenever I go to San Jose, if my friends are here, I'm in San Jose. I say I'm going for 10 minutes. I'll be there for 10 hours, and so it's definitely good to go by yourself sometimes, so you can do whatever the heck you want. And then speaking about when you go to Asian countries and they think you're not they think you're local. So my ex-wife was Mexican. And we'd be walking around California, and people would ask her a question in Spanish, and she'd have to look over to me and can you translate for me? And they would get so mad at her, like, I can't believe you don't speak Spanish, you're Mexican. And so I know what you go through because I've seen it with my ex-wife. It's crazy how people just want to assume all the time. So, man, that's awesome. So I wish I could travel the world as many places as you have. That's exciting. All I've been to was Holland and Mexico. So that's it for me.
Holland's amazing. That's also, I always find myself going to the Netherlands and going into Amsterdam, and I like spending time in Rotterdam in the south. So Rotterdam's like maybe an hour from Amsterdam. That's one of my favorite cities. It was completely decimated and destroyed during World War II. So its skyline and architecture is incredibly unique because the entire city had to be rebuilt, and it's still very new. They have these square cube apartment houses. I always remember that. But yeah, I highly recommend Rotterdam and Netherlands. Another one of my favorites in terms of Europe would be Belgium. I am a huge history buff, and I love art history, so I find myself always going back to the city of Bruges, which is the city of canals. But there's my favorite church, and then inside of that church is Raphael's Madonna. And so the Madonna was stolen by the Nazis during World War II, and for Hitler's art collection.
Yeah.
And so with that, the Monument Men, basically, it's a movie.
Oh, we're cut off again. 1 second, guys. She'll be right back, I'm sure.
And British had assembled a team to be protecting the world's art because Hitler was on, his little rampage to steal it all.
Yeah.
But so that was one of the main artworks that had been stolen, along with from Belgium was the Ghent altarpiece. And they uncovered the Raphael's Madonna was inside of one of the caves, and so it was returned back to it. So, and somebody had died also trying to protect that statue. So that's also another, it's another artwork and statue that means a lot to me.
Let's see who I just saw. Somebody said they're in Belgium. They're from Belgium, and they said thank you. Where are they? Where'd they go? Oh, Frank V. I'm from Belgium. Thank you, Tara. So. See, you'd be a great history teacher. I mean, you have all this knowledge,
I'm a nerd. I am a huge nerd. So.
I used to hate history until I started watching that show Pawn Stars, and the next thing you know, you start learning more about history, and it's pretty cool. I don't know. I hated that class, though. My goodness.
But I think maybe in a former life I was a monument man because of my love for history. Maybe that's if BLM had not vandalized that Kosciuszko statue, I might still be I might have voted for Biden. I mean.
Yeah, it's weird what the smallest things can do to change your path in life. you know?
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And then since I became, involved with conservative activism, I've met the most amazing people, and my life's going now in this direction. I'm excited for what it's going to hold. I'd like to run for Congress in 4 years, so Szczepanski 2024.
There you
Stephanie Murphy coming after you.
So which district is that going to be in?
It's Stephanie Murphy's district in Orlando.
Okay.
And so I'm planning to go for her seat.
Oh, I thought you were going to stay in New York and run against AOC, even though her seat's getting removed, I think.
I'd like to take her out.
So would I. I don't mean I would like to take her. I'd like to see you take her out. Another girl take her out. Somebody asked I know you're not going to get too much into your funding and stuff, but they're asking how you can afford to travel like that. Do you have any recommendations on how people can travel on a budget?
Well, so my dad is actually retired from the airline, so that's a big travel hack I have. I actually have flight benefits. So to be realistic, of course, it costs money to travel, and then I have a lot of friends around the U.S., so I usually do have a place to stay is another thing that helps to cut down with costs. But I'm pretty good at finding like budget hotels and deals using like Hotwire. There's little travel hacks like with Booking.com. They have a credit card. Like you can get up to $200 on each credit card. So every credit card that you have, you can send a referral code back and forth. I hope Booking.com's not listening to this, but this is one of my travel hacks. So if you use a referral code and just send it back and forth, you can actually accumulate $200 off. In a sense,
nice.
The money's gonna be sent back to you. So after you pay for the booking, like wait for it to post maybe like a week or two, but $25 will post then, because for the person who's giving the referral and the person that's then using the referral. So it's actually that's $50 that
nice.
you're getting.
Yeah, hey, there we go.
So that $50 off like a night for a stay. That's another travel hack that I use. I always recommend, like not spending the most like on a hotel. And if you're traveling long term, that's when I started getting used to hostels and also like I love homestays. So that's like another travel hack. I use public transportation. I'm, if I can minimize getting an Uber, and I always feel like transportation is like the lifeline, the veins of a city. And so I like to learn the veins of a city. So when I was going to Portland, for instance, for the first time, that was right before I flew from Portland to DC. And so learning to take like their metro rail. And, I looked up taking an Uber would have cost me maybe like $30, $40 to get into the city. And I'm like, it might be quick and easy to take an Uber, but what are you actually saving? You're probably saving like maybe a half hour in terms of your transport by then taking the public transportation that's there. And I usually fly into Dulles when I fly into DC. And then actually for the first several times I was flying in, their public bus 5A was free. And so my last trip is when they started charging again for it. That was $7.50. And so I think if you we're very trigger happy with clicking that Uber button and making it convenient for ourselves. So that's another like trick I have is to be using public transportation. I often bring food with me actually to places that I go so I can minimize eating out, because you can spend a lot of money eating out. So like I like staying at the AC Hotel in DC, and across the street from that is a 24-hour Wawa. And I was getting good deals on Hotwire for that one for a while, but their good deals are no longer like
Wait a
happening.
minute. So we were staying in the same hotel in DC? I stayed at the AC Hotel in DC.
I did.
But I think
the last time I stayed was at the Normandy.
Okay.
But I was becoming like an ambassador for the AC Hotel because I was getting fantastic deals for AC before on Hotwire.
We were at the one though, I think at the convention center, so we may have been at a different one. We were on K Street.
Yes. The one at the convention center, that's the one I was staying at was the AC downtown.
Okay.
And also like building up your point groups and everything when that's possible. Like I'm a Bonvoy Platinum member, and so with that, it's not some like I'll get my points from using that. So that's another like travel hack is having a loyalty program.
Yeah. I'm part of Bonvoy too, so I always stay at the Marriott's if I can, just because I have with my disability. I have a lot of screws on my back, so I can get sick very easily. So my doctor said to make sure I avoid bed bugs. So that's why I won't stay at just run of the mill places. Um, so yeah, Bonvoy is a big, huge helper out for me. Let's see what else. Nobody's asking any questions. It's weird. We're just talking back and forth. What do you have? What do you want to say? Anything you want to breach on right now? Talk about?
Well, so Eddie, tell me more about yourself. Were you conservative like all your life, or like me, a walk away?
I wasn't conservative all my life. I guess I was in a way, but I was never political at all. When I was a plumber, I used to be a plumber, if you can't believe it. And, the union would say, oh, vote this way. And I didn't really vote that much back then, I did like Bill Clinton in the 90s, but I was just, a young kid. But then once I got to college and started seeing everything that was going on there, and I took my first political science class, that taught me right then and there I was a conservative. It was so bad I had to ask my professor. I said, how do I know if I'm conservative or liberal? And I didn't even know the difference back then, And he's like, you'll know when you know. And I'm like, well, gee, thanks a lot. That doesn't help me very much. But that's when I started learning, and just started, watching what's going on in the news and then going to rallies in Fresno and just, hanging out with this guy, the guy I mentioned earlier, Ben Berkwam. And where we would go and just seeing what was going on and, the lies that people were telling you. Going to a liberal college really changed my views too. They hated me. I wore my Trump hat every single day at my liberal college,
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I went to the University of Central Florida for my undergrad, and so Liberty Hangout, Caitlin Bennett, she was chased off.
Yeah.
Chased off. I was so embarrassed at those students' behavior, but she was chased off campus.
Yeah. I went for media communications and journalism. That's what I have a degree in, and business. And what's funny is one day the president called out an email saying, "Oh yeah, you can't film on campus if somebody tells you no." And I'm like, wait a minute, I just learned this. That's not the law. And I called him on it. Next thing you know, I'm in his office, and after a while, it became I had my own seat in his office. Like one day, I'm telling someone, like, you need to stop that. I'll call, President Castro. And they're like, yeah, he's not going to waste his time with you. So I get on my phone, I text him real quick. I'm like, hey, we need to talk. And I show the teacher, the professor, the text. I'm like, it says be in my office in 5 minutes. She's like, I don't even get that. And I'm a professor. I said, yeah. So, because he knows I don't keep quiet. He knows he better calm me down before I start going and making videos and, spreading the word about what's going on. But we had they invited all the students to this event, and they said, we're going to show all your videos, bring your friends, bring your family. And then all they talked about was the broadcast people. They didn't show any of our films. And my friend, she's getting yelled at by her dad. I left work. I took off, 7 hours to drive here, and she's crying. And so I emailed our, oh my gosh, the person in charge of our department. And she's like, what? She's like, I felt the same way. So guess what? We're starting the Fresno State Film Festival, and you're in charge of it next year. So we did it, and nobody had signed up to put their videos in. And so, college, you have to have a committee. It's not just one person running it. And they're all liberals on this committee. And I said, well, I'll put in some of my videos since there's nothing else being portrayed. And she's like, no, you can't because your videos are too conservative. They actually banned all my videos from their film festival. And so I went straight to the president. So guess what? They put my videos in. And my conservative video won first place on a liberal campus. That's how crazy it was. And,
oh, that's awesome.
All these liberal professors are like, Eddie, I want to not vote for your video, but you did such a great job putting this together that I have to vote for it. So it's pretty cool.
Good.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you even came in from being the underdog. That's amazing.
Yeah. And it all just started out one day. I have a poker buddy, and I'm watching. They had him on Antifa's had him on their watch list, and I'm like, hey, how can I help? I make videos, and it just went from there. I started hanging out with Ben. Then I was hanging out with Will Johnson, and next thing you know, we were with Laura Loomer and Fleckus and just all these people. And so finally one day I'm like, I want to go out on my own. And I told Ben, and he's like, all right. He's all, so he supports me, and, it's cool. So that's how I got started. And it sucked, you know, like one day I was in this meeting with the president of Fresno State, and he's like, Eddie, I heard your wife graduated from Fresno State. What was her major? And I was like, oh, she's a women's studies major. And he just looked at me and he's like, I bet your house is kind of fun at night. And I was like, yeah, she's a big time liberal. And I couldn't bring anything Trump in my house. I mean, you know, she started a thrift store. And we bought storage units, and I found this Trump tie, and I'm like, hey, it's a cool tie, I'm gonna wear it. And she's like, if you wear it, I'm gonna cut it off your neck. That's how bad it was living in a house, you know, because she believed what she saw on the news, and slowly but surely she started coming more towards our side of it, you know. But it just, you know, things just didn't work out, and so. But that's a long story. But yeah, it was very interesting living in the same house as somebody that's so politically on another viewpoint than you are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like my mother is a huge anti-Trump person, and so is my brother. So I'm basically banned from talking politics in my own house, and you know, like. It's a quick way for family dinners to end abruptly.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because, like, when I listen to my brother, he doesn't, you know, it doesn't bother me, but I have a way of making them angry when I talk about, you know, Trump.
Yeah. Luckily, everybody in my family's conservative. Like, for Thanksgiving and Christmas, for some reason, my brother kept making the point to tell me, you know, I'm conservative, right? It's like, what do you think I'm going to do? Make a video about you saying you're a liberal or something? I don't know. It's funny how we're so divided, you know. Or people, no, I'm never gonna talk to you again, and I'm like, why? I'm not. It's not that I'm not gonna talk to you anymore.
Yeah, I encountered that so much, like in the last several months when I had come out as a vocal Trump supporter. A lot of people that, you know, I grew up with don't agree with what I'm doing now. Even my own mother doesn't approve of any of this, but it's not like I need anybody's approval to be myself.
Yeah.
And in a sense, like if it cost me my relationships, it has cost me relationships. That was a painful bit of it in the beginning, but you know, if you can't accept me for my beliefs, it's not that I'm asking you to adopt my beliefs, because I'll accept your beliefs as your own, and you know, we can talk and learn about it from each other. But to have been judged so much on the context of just coming out as a Trump supporter is part of the reason why I need to be even more vocal about it. Because like people have this image of what a Trump supporter is, and it's important for us to you know, set the record straight.
Yeah.
Of who and what Trump supporters are.
Yeah. And you know what I'm learning too is, you know, Trump supporter, you know, it's like a family. It's like a big, huge family. As soon as somebody finds out you're a Trump supporter, it's like, oh my gosh, how are you doing? You want to go have dinner, or, you know, come over to my house. I'll cook you dinner. And it's just amazing. Absolutely. How friendly everybody is. You know,
I think a lot of it has to do with that, since Trump supporters are so persecuted in a sense, like for our political ideology, and that so there's a shared experience that goes with that, and so that's why when you find another person that's a Trump supporter, it's almost like you have to be in hiding that you're a Trump supporter. Like people, you know, people see it as a fireable offense these days to be a Trump supporter, and now, you know, they're trying to make it so that people who go to make MAGA rallies as the terrorist rallies or that. So yeah. It really is a persecution that we're going through. So when I find another person who is a Trump supporter, it's like, oh, okay, thank God. It's
yeah.
Like, you get it. You understand.
Oh, you're frozen again. Oh, there we go. You're back. Yeah, like I remember when I was at Fresno State, you know, I really loved this one professor. She was amazing. I knew she was a liberal, you know, so I didn't really bring in my Trump hat to her class, just out of respect, because I mean, she was always very nice to me, and I loved her. And so one day I'm walking, or rolling, I should say, and I see her, and I got my MAGA hat on, so I go to class really fast, and she comes walking into my class, and she's like, Eddie, why don't you stop and say hi to me? I said, well, I'm wearing my MAGA hat. I didn't, you know, want to upset you. I know you don't like Trump. And she's like, I don't care who you like, Eddie. I love you as a student. Give me a goddamn hug. And so she came up and gave me a hug. So all liberals are not bad.
Exactly.
You know, even my ex-wife, she was not a bad person. You know, we just couldn't make it work. So
even when I was on the liberal side, I had a lot of friends that were conservative, and so when I hopped over to the conservative side and experienced what people do on this side, I'm like asking them, I was like, has it always been this bad? Like, it's choosing, you know, to go against the stream, the road less, you know, you're definitely choosing an uphill battle by being a conservative. And so I had no idea that my conservative friends had been experiencing this, because like when they share with me their belief system, I just listened. And so when I make fun of liberals now, and I'm like, yeah, I was a libtard. And my friends will say to me, like, weren't you a libtard just like a couple months ago? And I'm like, yeah, the difference though, I was never like intolerant. And that's probably why I have friends of so many different beliefs across the spectrum, is because, it doesn't threaten my own belief system to be friends with a person who has a different belief system than me. And so a question I get often is, when I switch from being a liberal to a conservative, is have my values or my views changed? And the answer is no. My values have always been the same as to who I am as a person. It's just my understanding of the world and the place where it falls in is what's changed. And then also with educating myself more, I would consider myself more in the center of things, and to see how left things have moved. And to me, that feels very radical. So my belief system and values are encompassed already still in the conservative ideology, and like things that I am socially progressive on are present within the Republican Party as well. And so with how open to that I've seen the Republican Party now to be, I'm like, this is where I am in a sense falling in the spectrum.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's a lot of things I do that can be considered liberal. Like, I go out and feed the homeless every couple of months, But it wasn't my idea. I have a friend who's a police officer, and he said, Eddie, I'm going to go Christmas Eve and feed the homeless. You want to come with me? And I was like, because in all reality, I had issues with the homeless, because we had a thrift store, and they were sleeping out in front, scaring off our customers. You're using our doors as bathrooms, and people wouldn't come in because of that. And so, I had a grudge against him, I'm not going to lie. And he's like, well, Eddie, I'm a police officer and we deal with them all the time. I'm trying to figure out a way to learn how we can work together and get them off the streets. And I never had heard that before in that way. And so I said, all right, fine, I'll come help you out. And next thing you know, we are once a month out there feeding the homeless. Until some liberal chick got mad at us because we were conservatives and feeding the homeless. She's like, get out of here, you Trump supporters.
It doesn't matter. A public service and a public good is still a good deed, and it should be done regardless of who it's coming from, and why would one be mutually exclusive to the other? It's just beyond perplexing to me.
Yeah.
I have an idea when it comes to the homeless, and it's another project that I do want to be working on and working on relatively soon, and speaking out more. So thanks for bringing this up. But cool. I have an idea it's similar to like a mega farm for the homeless. So I've seen small scale farms work like. They have a couple here in the U.S. and then mainly in the U.K. But instead of building the homeless shelters within the cities why not? America has so much farmland. Why not build homeless shelters in a sense in farms, and then you can give the person like a space that they can create their own farms. They can farm their own food, and create their own food to sustain themselves. And you provide them basic necessities that you would have in a homeless shelter just on farmland itself. It would get people, homeless people out of the cities. So like the problem that you were experiencing with having homeless people living in front of your business and then therefore driving down the value of your business, in essence, it gives them a place to go, because being homeless should not be a crime. And so with that displacement, they do need to have a place to go. And there's a lot of space, and to see it work on a small scale, because it also gives, with the ability to grow your own food, it gives a person a sense of purpose back. So when, and also their dignity. And so with that, I feel like, we can be helping also with the psychology of a person to give them a progressive and purposeful role in society.
Sure,
so that's something I want to be.
I love that idea. My goal,
having farms for the homeless.
Yeah, my goal, I don't know if you know, I have 5 dogs all sitting underneath me right now. Only one, my Saint Bernard, is a bot dog, because I rescued a Saint Bernard from the pound, and he's 13 years old. I fell in love with him, so I said I got to get another Saint Bernard. And I hate buying dogs, because I'd rather go to the pound than rescue them. But my goal is, because I love helping the veterans, one day I'm going to get a big, huge ranch. Have you seen that show Pitbulls and Parolees, where they help out the parolees They take care.
I didn't know about this. I love pit bulls though.
Yeah, what they do is so they take care of she rescues pit bulls, and then she also rescues parolees in a way. She gives them jobs, she gives them a place to stay, and gives them a meaning in life, and helps them get out of doing the bad things in life. And so since I help out veterans a lot, I wanted to do the same thing. I'm not gonna stick to just pit bulls, which I don't know. She's on my bed. For some reason, my pit bull goes to my bed every time. But just all dogs, having them there and having veterans and giving them something to do. A lot of these veterans, they trained to be workers, and now they don't have a job, and they're feeling down on themselves. And I have a lot of friends that have PTSD, and I've learned how to talk to them when they're going through their bad times, So that's my goal. I want to get some kind of a ranch. They can stay there and just help me feed the dogs, and
Yeah.
They get their own dog even. Dogs are. I love my dogs. They're amazing. So that's my thing.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, except wouldn't be liberal stuff because you do gotta work and participate and stuff like that. But working with the homeless, like my ex-wife worked at a homeless shelter. Most of these homeless shelters are just there for the freaking paycheck. I'm not gonna lie. I went and did the homeless count, and they give you what you have to do. It's like 5 questions you have to ask. One is how long you've been homeless. The other is do you have a sexually transmitted disease, which who cares if they're homeless, Another one is are you gay, straight, bi? Who cares about that either. So I said, why can't we ask them how can we help you not be homeless anymore? And like, oh, we're not allowed to ask that. We're only there to count them. And I said, well, what's the point of that?
Wow.
And she said, because the more people we count, the more money the government gives us. And that's all they want. They want that paycheck,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You got to question, in a sense, like a lot of our Democrat-run cities, like the homeless population and problem there is huge. And I'm like, you have the highest taxes in these Democrat cities, like the tax rate that you have in like California, but you have such a huge homeless population that's there. You have a growing population of homeless individuals here in New York, and they're going to be skyrocketing taxes for New York.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? Like, why is homelessness growing with our taxes?
Yeah. I can't even imagine living in New York. What does an apartment cost? Like $4,000 for a studio apartment or something like that?
It can be. It's pretty ridiculous. I mean, I'm staying at my friend's place close to Herald Towers and Herald Square, that area,
Mm-hmm.
and the Victoria's Secret that's like near Herald Towers. There's it's been closed since March because its rent's too high and they're not earning because of COVID. So I mean, it's the situation, the pandemic is really like what it's been doing to businesses, and it's the kiss of death to small businesses. They like with the lockdowns, its purpose is to make us all poor.
Yeah. Well, and think about it. So I don't know if you know this. I have a friend that's owns a restaurant, and what happens is when you have your company that delivers your meat, your cheeses, all your products. In order to get them to show up every week and deliver, you have to sign a contract with them that you guarantee you're going to spend so much money with them every month. So while these businesses are closed, he's still having to pay that fee. He still has to pay his rent. He still has to pay the electricity. It's and the trash and water. Whether you're there or not, they're still charging you your trash and water. And so that's what it is. It's all to bring us down because they want to turn us into dependent upon our government. And that's what the liberals want to do. Uh-oh, we're frozen again.
That's right.
There we go. Now you're back. When you see me do this, I have my stepdad. He only likes to FaceTime me. He's 85 years old, and he lives up in the mountains where he has very slow internet. So he's always cutting out. So if you see me doing this, that means I'm trying to see if you're live or not still.
But Eddie, I've enjoyed so much talking to you. I am going to have to wrap up pretty soon.
Yes, ma'am. No, I'm sorry. I'm a talker. I don't know when to end. So.
Me too. I've been loving our conversation 100%, and I appreciate you so much for bringing me onto your platform and giving me a chance to speak.
Well, when I got your email this morning with your phone number, I was like, oh my gosh, you wrote back. Cool, yay. So. Before we let you go, why don't we tell everybody where they can find you at so they can like you all across the boards and subscribe. I know you probably got a couple subscribers today from us, so.
thanks guys for tuning in and listening to our chatter with me and Eddie. You can find me on the Polish American Brotherhood on YouTube, and my handle is P-O-A-M Brotherhood. And so that's where you'll find all my social media when, Parler when it comes back, Twitter, Facebook, so Poam Brotherhood, all the way across the board. So please, please, please check out my channel, hit that like button, hit that notification button, and subscribe.
There you go. Have you tried Phoenix yet? I just joined yesterday.
I have not tried Phoenix yet. But
it looks exactly like Facebook. If you're a Facebook fan,
good.
I was looking for something that looked like Facebook.
They forced me to not be a Facebook fan for the last several months, and banning me from everything. But awesome. I'll check it out.
Oh, you can't see it. See how it looks kind of like just like Facebook?
Oh, fantastic. Good.
Yeah.
I'm going to also be uploading and creating, I created accounts for Rumble and for BitChute, so I'm going to be putting content up there because, of course, the nature of the content that I've been covering with telling the truth.
Yeah.
But that, of course, is conservative voices are being deplatformed across the board. And so I'm going to be putting my stuff up in BitChute and Rumble as well.
Right on. Well, thank you for being on the show, and stay safe out there. If you do come to California for that event, send me a text, and don't be afraid to text me anytime. All right?
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely. Absolutely. Have a good night.
All right. Good night. Bye. Let me turn this off first so we don't show your phone number. There we go. And end. All right. Bye. All right, guys. So what did you think? How was that? Did you guys enjoy Tara? I sure did. She's amazing to talk to. She's a patriot. She goes out there and does all the good stuff for everybody. So I hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor. Don't forget to like her. Go to Polish American Brotherhood on YouTube. And don't forget to hit my like button and subscribe. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'm kind of not feeling so great today. So I'm going to end this early. I have a bowel obstruction going on. I don't know. I think it's from all the stress that I've been going through over the last couple of days. But I'm definitely going to come on tomorrow to show the speech from San Antonio. So hopefully somebody has it live. I'm sure Right Side Broadcasting will. And yeah, she's an amazing woman. Wow. Wowzers, all I can say. That girl has more, let's say, gumption than any man that I know right now. I'll be honest, you probably wouldn't catch me going alone in D.C., in New York, in front of all those Antifa and Black Lives Matter people. I mean, what am I talking about? Yeah, I would. I'd do it just for the fun of it. But, yeah, take care of this young lady. If you see her at an event, make sure, don't go and just bombard her, but just make sure she's safe. Tomorrow it says, what time is tomorrow at? I think it's at noon. So 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. You think I'm in love, Rod? Of course I'm in love. That's a beautiful conservative woman. But she's way out of my league. Way out of my league. So, but it never hurts. But no, I don't want to make this into a dating channel. I joked around about that before. I might have something coming up like that. Who knows? But that'll be something separate. But yeah, to this channel right here, we just want to show you the news and what's going on. And I think she is a great representative of what's going on. She's out there. She's doing stuff that a lot of people won't do. I mean, and she's got the beauty. And I'm not trying to bring her down for the beauty. I'm trying to say she needs to use that tool to get in the front of more people so she can spread the word better. Eric says she has more balls than me. Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I didn't know how well that would go over. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Tara. I have a friend named Tara, so that's why I would say Tara. Maybe I'll get her on the show too, because she is one of the Freedom Angels. She's a pretty cool young lady. And yeah, you're trying to say Eddie thinks This was a great show. Thank you, Patriotic Punk. And once again, everybody think Patriotic Punk, because when I was in D.C. and we were running around checking out all the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, the World War II Memorial, the Lincoln Memorial, and of course we both went right into Black Lives Matter Square. You know, I didn't actually realize I was there. I knew there was a lot of Black Lives Matter flags, but I didn't realize that on the ground we were there where it said, I think, Matter. And Kurt, thank you so much for all the donations today. I really appreciate it. Don't let me see my super chat through, but if I say something like save the babies, they cut me off. Really? That's weird. Yeah, and I guess she's going to go on PT News now. Not PT News, but Freedom Flashpoint with Adam. So you'll probably be able to see her there. But, wow, yeah, the stuff that happened to her yesterday. Can you believe all the places she traveled? Man, I'd love to travel. I love sightseeing. Who knows, you know? Maybe I'll just sell this house I live in, buy a fifth wheel trailer and a diesel truck, and just travel the country filming for you guys. You know, get one. What do they call those? Oh my gosh, the ones with you can put your motorcycles in the back, so I can have a place for the dogs and my scooter to roll up. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know, though. I like selling stuff on eBay. I wonder how that would work. I guess I could just ship stuff from wherever I am, huh? Just keep it in the travel trailer? Oh, no, weird. Who knows? I'm a thrift store guy. That's my problem. I'm a hoarder. You should see my house. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go take some more medicine. Hopefully my stomach goes down. And, no, I'm not saying that. People are coming at me saying I use my disability to get sympathy. I don't know where that's coming from because I don't think I get sympathy anywhere. The new conservative populace is liberal. We are all liberals, less government, more freedom of speech. It's an interesting thing. Hey, it's Crate's full. We made it in. He'll be busy making jerky for a month. Nobody wants conservative beef. The other part of it is, I don't think I will sell to any more Democrats. Fuck them. You know, Craze, you should advertise your beef as conservative beef. Think about it. Who cares about the most liberals don't like beef, buddy. Most of them are vegan. And speaking of vegan, all right, I'm going to go on for a little bit farther. When you go into a steakhouse, they have to have salads and junk like that for the vegans and whatever you want to call them, right? But now if I go to a vegan restaurant, they don't have a steak plate for me. Toy hauler, that's it. They don't have a steak place or a steak meal for me in a vegan place, but yet they got to have a salad for the vegans in the steak places. What the hell? What the hell? How does that not work? Hey, you don't got to thank me. We're going to get this. Yeah, thank you, Kurt. I appreciate it. I had to fill out some more forms to get the money now from YouTube. Let me look at it real quick. I think they might actually gonna be starting to send me my money pretty soon. They put it in a separate folder, and I had to fill out tax forms. Oh, wait a minute. It's no longer on there. So it looks like they might actually start paying me now. That'll be good. That'll be good. Hold on. Here comes Donnie. Come here, Donnie. Come on. Donnie, what are you trying to... Come here, Bubbles. Come here. Come here, Bubbles. Come on. Everybody loves a little bit of Donnie in their life. There's Donnie. Say hi. Hi, Donnie. He's like, Dad, can I be the first one on the dating show? Well, I want to find a hot-looking St. Bernard chick. Or do you want a pit bull? You like them pit bull women, huh? You want a pit bull? I love this guy. Can you believe how big he's getting? Huh. I can't believe how huge. Look at his head. He's just massive. He's just massive. And this is what... 2 o'clock in the morning. Every morning at 2 o'clock. For some reason, he likes to chew on my ears. I don't know why. I don't know why. Eddie, phone home. Got my ET right here. Let's see. But yeah, Crazeful, let's start. Let's call yourself the Conservative Jerky Company. Or Patriot Jerky. There you go. We'll start selling. How many on this channel will buy Patriot Jerky? He's got the grade A beef over where he's at, I understand. Let's see. Let's start counting. We only have how many people? We got 105 people in here right now. How many of you guys would like to buy some beef? Oh yeah, I can eat a cowboy steak. I would never get sick and tired of eating steak. I love steak. Yeah, they're all dividing us, Kurt. Kurt is right. Thank you again. Yeah, good-looking puppy. Thank you, Philip. His name is Donald J. Trump. We call him Donnie for short. But the problem is, I have my little brownie dog here. So hey, if the internet cuts out, it's because he's chewing on the internet wire. Don't chew on the internet wire. He has all these toys, but he doesn't eat, he eats all the junk. Anyways, yeah, you'd buy Patriot jerky, Terrence? Terrence Reardon says he's going to buy some. I bet you we could sell every piece of cattle you have there. Gray would. Heck, you know what? We need to start. Think about this, folks. Why don't we all go to Costco tomorrow? Let's all go buy a big, huge fridge, and we'll buy a piece of cattle, a cow from Crazed, right? If we all buy one, we'll have meat for the rest of the year. We just got to find somebody to cut it up, unless. Do you have a plant over there, Craze, that you could butcher the meat for us? Terrence Reardon and Friends podcast. Thank you very much. I'll get you some cheap. Yeah. You know what? Craze Full is going to be the next sponsor with this beef. We're going to sell this beef right here. One cow at a time. I definitely could, oh my goodness, thinking about some prime rib right now. My stepdad made prime rib for Christmas. That was delicious. Ribeyes. I love some ribeye. Heck, we'll get you start selling in Texas. You know? Yeah, we need to support our local farms. Don't get that beef that's from out of the country. You want American-made beef, right? Talk to Craze Full. We're gonna get this. We're gonna sell all your beef, Craze. Not only that, we're gonna sell it at a good profit, where you make a good profit and everybody's happy with it because they're getting a good quality steak. Look at all these people. We're gonna start selling your beef. We'll call it Rob Retvet's Beef House. Actually, I have a friend who's a very, very good chef. You know, and he's not even a chef anymore. Whenever we have our meetings, we go to his house, and he makes me these bacon blue cheese burgers. They're to die for. He went to culinary school, and I keep telling him he needs to open up a restaurant. You know, we'll buy him a food truck, and because that's the new biggest thing now. Think about it. Rob Retvet's Ribs on the food truck. I'm making you hungry. Yeah, I know. I haven't eaten, because when you have a bowel obstruction, I don't know if you know what that is. I get them all the time. I'm actually in a pretty good mood for having one right now. But what it is so if I eat carrots, for some reason, a lot of vegetables I'm allergic to. So if I have a carrot, I can feel my mouth tightening up, so my intestines also tighten up, so nothing can get through. And I gotta wait for it to either untighten itself or for it to just push itself through. I'm not gonna try and get into too much detail, but you guys can understand. And it's very painful, so that's why I'm not eating food today, because I can feel it coming. So I'm hoping that if I don't eat any food, it doesn't happen. But if it gets really bad, I have to go to the hospital, which I won't. I hate it, and I'm going to tell you why. They stick this tube that goes up your nose, and it goes all the way down your throat, and it sucks everything out of you. And it's just the most painful thing I've ever had. I've had back surgeries. My toenails have been cut off without anesthesiology, and I tell you what, I will take that over that tube going up my nose and down my throat. Look up I-405 on YouTube. There's a Where's the Beef Old Lady. I love that lady. Oh my gosh, what's her name? Sarah? Where's the beef? That old lady from the was it Burger King or Wendy's commercials? I forget which one. You know how to train them for emotion support animals? We need to get some of these shelter animals and train them to love, and maybe we can get them to veterans. Dude, that's an awesome idea. I definitely want to do that. That is for sure a definite. What, Panda Bear? Panda's always so... You never see my border collie because she's so shy. She, I got her when she was only 6 months old, but my ex-wife, soon-to-be ex-wife, I guess, she worked at this homeless shelter, and they were not allowed to bring in any pets. And this lady had Panda, and I just lost my Akita mix dog that I have tattooed right here, Junior, and he was black and white with black spots. And Panda's black and white with black spots. So my wife just brought her home and said, "Hey, I got Junior's replacement." And like, we had been talking a week before, no more dogs, no more dogs. And I just looked and I was just like, bring her here. And Panda won't leave my side. But the problem is she's afraid of men. We think whoever had her before beat her. I mean, any loud noises, she freaks out. She's afraid of everything. But she's my panda bear. She was going to be my service animal, but for some reason, she stopped wanting to get in the truck. I know I'm talking too much. So she didn't want to be my service dog, and now that I'm divorced and single, I figure I need a service dog that can help me out with what I'm doing. Yeah, we're definitely gonna get the mobile meat craze full. We're just gonna drive you around. We're gonna get you a I'm sure you got a diesel truck if you got a cattle ranch. Just hook up a food truck to the back and just drive around the country selling patriotic meat. Shoot, we'll be the new and improved Ruth Chris Steakhouse, but we're gonna be the crazed fool steakhouse. How about that? Making money. Huh. What's up, Panda Bear? I don't know. Can you guys hear my St. Bernard snoring down there? Can you hear him? See if I can get the mic down there. Oh, now he stopped. Of course he stopped. Darn dog. Alright, guys. So, we've been having fun here. Everybody thank Gray-Eyed Jewel, Crazed Fool, Kurt. Who else are my... Kurt's not even a moderator, is he? But thank you, Kurt. He's been helping out a lot. We got to thank our guest. She was amazing. Don't forget to check her out, Polish American Brotherhood, on everything. P-O-A-M Brotherhood is where you're going to find her on most places. And there you go. You're going to have some beautiful content from a beautiful lady inside and out who used to be liberal. So, you just got a Newsmax alert saying Trump declared a state of emergency. Let's look it up real quick. We've got the internet right in our hands. Trump state of emergency. Let's see. YouTube. This page isn't available. Oh. Let's see. Trump declared 46 minutes ago. People magazine. Let's see. Let's look what it says. Let's show it to you guys here. Let's put you on. I'm getting a lot better doing this stuff online now. So it says, Trump declares state of emergency in Washington, D.C. ahead of Biden's inauguration. Oops. Sorry, I didn't realize I had me on there. And let me take me off so you can see the full screen. Donald Trump declared a state of emergency in the District of Columbia on Monday. His announcement comes ahead of President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration. Federal assistance has been ordered. Let's see. Potential violence after the failed insurrection attempt. I don't know if that's true or not about the insurrection event. Officials are concerned that there will be more riots when Biden is sworn in as president. Do me a favor, folks. Let's not riot. Let's, hold on, where the heck am I? Let's not riot, folks. Right? What is it going to get us? Other than in trouble and people hurt. While there is a time for violence, I don't think it's that time yet. We got to figure out better ways. There's better ways to not prove your point, but to get your point across than violence. That should be our last resort. So yeah, on the 20th, I don't want to see any violence, please. It's not worth it. Now, On the other hand, if Antifa comes up and hits you or attacks you first, then beat the living hell out of them, all right? But let's not just go there for violence. Excuse me, sorry, the Sprite is kicking in. I don't know why Sprite is so good when you have bowel issues and stuff, but Sprite always seems to help me out. Let's see. And also, no, I'm not going to be in DC on the 20th. I have an appointment here. In fact, I got to look and see what time that appointment is. But I have an appointment, but I will be live covering what's going on. Yeah, they're killing us and they call us terrorists. It's awful. So yeah, like I said, no violence, guys, unless absolutely needed. Yeah, that's all I can say right now. All right, guys, so check this out. We will be back tomorrow. Same time, same bat place, same bat channel. Can I say that without getting in trouble? Who knows? Because I am a big Batman fan. I was Superman fan. In fact, I don't know if I can get my arm up to go high enough. You can't see it. I have a Superman tattoo. Crates full. That's a rare one. Used to get the old tractor style tiles on it. Wait. Uh-oh. Let's see what crate's full. Oh, you have a Willy. Really? That's cool. I'd like to check that out. I'll have to come check out your ranch sometime. We won't say where it is, but I'm definitely I have been invited to come check out Craig's ranch sometime. So that'll be fun. I might show you the ranch a little bit if I can, without showing where his ranch is. But I think it'd be fun to go check it out. All right, guys, I'm gonna go take my medicine, so I can get better, so I can report all of the news for you. Have all the fun and other streamers on here. I think we're gonna start doing this more. Let's get more streamers on here. And you know, I have a plan. So everybody wants me to get this new scooter. I want this new scooter. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, it's expensive, but think about it. You know how Tara was just talking about traveling the country, and she said she had to backpack to certain places. If I had this scooter, I could do that and bring it to you. So here's what I'm thinking. We watched a video with Mike Lindell, you know, the My Pillow guy. If everybody on here can send a message to Mike from My Pillow saying, "Hey, Eddie needs this scooter," you know, I know he's got the funds to do it. I'm not saying he should donate, but tell him, "Hey, can you sponsor Eddie's channel and buy the scooter for him?" You never know. Closed mouths don't get fed. So if I can get 200-300 of us to do it, then maybe he might see it and might do it. You never know, right? So, all right, guys, that's going to be my last thing. Thank everybody on here. Don't forget to check out Tara once again. I love you guys, and we will see you tomorrow. And maybe I might just cook a steak and eat it on camera so we can get everybody going for Craze, the Craze new meat market, I guess we can call it. All right, everybody. Love you guys, and thank you for being here.